Another major recall. Stay tuned to find out all about it. It's ridiculous. And I'm officially checking in over here at Moments with Us. You all check in. Let us know where you're watching from and how you are doing. Of course, I'm checking in from Northern New Jersey. Back to the personal situation. Let's head into this Dollar Tree over in Maplewood. Staples is also a plus. These past few years showed me. So there's a major made to order sandwich recall right now. And they just now classified it as deadly. You know, we've been seeing like the recalls at the lowest risk level. You know, now it's going all the way up to like deadly. Like with a lot of these recalls, it's quite crazy. So let's get into it. This is Shauna, and I'm officially checking in over here at Moments with Us. You all check in. Let us know where you're watching from and how you are doing. Of course, I'm checking in from Northern New Jersey. So shoppers at Big Y should be on high alert. The FDA has just advanced a prior recall to a class 1 status, meaning we can't go in there, meaning that consuming the product could result in a serious adverse health consequence or even death, guys. The initial recall pertains to made-to-order subs, wraps, and panini sold at Big Y locations in Massachusetts and Connecticut. The made-to-order products in question were sold on May 20th, 2025 and May 21st of 2025. Saying that these sandwiches do have the potential to be contaminated with salmonella once again. So it's estimated that almost 6,500 units of the sandwiches were sold during that time period. The affected product contains, of course, those cucumbers distributed by Bender Growers Inc., which are currently under investigation for salmonella contamination. So we have the cucumbers, of course. Cucumbers over the past years have been being recalled back to back regardless. So if you guys do often, buy those cucumbers, definitely check it for those recalls. No, go up there. According to the FDA, consumers who purchase the affected product should return their sandwiches or show a receipt to the place of purchase for a full refund. While it's unlikely those who purchase the sandwiches will still have them in their possession, it's advised to check your freezers in case you stored yours to eat later on. So anyone with questions can contact the Big Y Foods directly at wecare@bigY.com, or call 1-800-828-2688 directly. But yeah, these made-to-order sandwiches are definitely classifying as a deadly recall right now. And then I'm going with the recalls. We have the workers at the largest beef processing plant in the U.S. vote to authorize a strike, y'all. So if y'all did not know, workers at a Texas-based beef processing plant just voted by a 98% margin to authorize a strike at a facility aiming ongoing negotiations once again. And the timing couldn't be worse as Independence Day, the unofficial hot dog and burger holiday, approaches. So on Friday, Teamsters, local 577 members at Tyson Foods of Amarillo, described as the largest beef processing plant in the United States and essential to the beef supply chain, announced that its some 3,100 members had voted to authorize a strike. All right, they're saying it could create that domino effect if chaos do happen. The facility is essential to the beef supply chain. The president of Local 577 and the June 27 statement explaining that if the company and union cannot agree, the union will be forced to take action. All right, they are saying that the strike is certainly unclear, but it could happen. It will also add stress to the supply, making it harder for the company to keep up with demand, potentially to the point of raising prices, y'all, which is certainly not what shoppers want to hear so close to the 4th of July. Man, oh man, y'all know the cookouts be happening. The main component of these daggone cookouts be hot dogs and hamburgers on them grills. Um, Yeah, they're saying, of course, shoppers are planning to eat those hot dogs and all of that. They're saying that though famous for its chicken nuggets, Tyson owns several other meat brands, if y'all did not know, that could be impacted by a potential strike, including Tyson owns Jimmy Dean, Ballpark, Adele's, Jalo or Gallo, Star Ranch Angus, Wright, and Hillshire Farm. If y'all didn't know, Tyson owned all of that. So, according to the June 27th statement, employees are seeking higher wages and improved benefits. The union said it also filed a number of unfair labor practices against Tyson for violating labor law. Now, you know what? I'm glad for you guys to stand up for yourself. Go ahead and stand up for yourself. Because if you don't fight, then it ain't going to get right at the end of the day, especially when it comes to the workforce. There's so many unfair, work practices going on. We're not just fighting for more money, they're saying. We're tired of seeing people suffer. We're tired of seeing people hurting. They're saying, Tyson, of course, did not speak up immediately. They're saying that they are negotiating right now, and there's another meeting coming up with Tyson to negotiate a deal, but they didn't include any further details. Tyson has a saying that we've got your back. But as far as I can see right now, someone mentioned we have to have our own backs. And if they really had our back, we wouldn't have to go this far. But now we're tired of talking and we're tired of hearing this and hearing that. We want a solution and we want them now. We don't want to strike. We don't want to. We want to be able to come to the table like adults and just understand what we just see what we're going through, what our people are going through. The people who are working to make sure you have money, we want them to see that. And without all of this striking and things like that, um, we just have to be prepared, they're saying. So we'll see if there's an update, if they actually went on strike or going on strike. This could, of course, have that domino effect of prices, rising, especially with Tyson owning, a nice handful amount of brands here. Y'all can see the picture. You see your Jimmy Dean, see the Tyson of it. You see the Hillshire Farm lunch meat there. You see the ballpark hot dogs. Um, that could create a domino effect of higher prices. So be prepared for that. So now when it comes down to funding being cut, I know you guys probably saying something like this, even for your state. This isn't my state, but I did click on the article anyhow. So it starts out by saying while the nation faces record housing unaffordability, which is very true, and homelessness, which is very true. I know y'all see it probably in y'all state, in y'all city, in y'all neck of the woods too. The homelessness increasing. HUD is pushing massive cuts in a move to Virginia. So they're saying recent data compiled in a new report from the Joint Center for Housing Studies. They're saying that numbers show is a record high numbers of renters and low income homeowners that can't afford housing costs, along with other record smashing signs of unaffordable national housing market. They went and said we're really at a point now where we need more affordable housing. But the market is not really very conducive. They go ahead and say, I apologize. This is a dark report. But I think it's important to understand the situation we're in, to be able to think about what to do about it. So, a record number of Americans are struggling right now with homelessness due to high housing costs and disasters stemming from climate change or decrease in the size of the housing stock, which pushes rent up. Last year, the United States had a record high number of climate disasters that cost $1 billion or more. It all points to the fact that now is not the time to step back, but to step up efforts to increase affordability, lower housing costs, and address the ever-growing needs of the nation's households. They're saying President Donald Trump administration has made cuts to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Developments. He made cuts to the staff, grants, and contracts as a part of a widespread cuts across the federal government, y'all. lawmakers. And an internal HUD report says the cuts are making it difficult for the agency to perform essential tasks, from preventing fraud to approving developmental projects. They're saying to top off those cuts, the Trump administration is pitching to lawmakers a budget that would slash HUD's budget in half and eliminate funding for many of its trademark programs, from public housing to housing vouchers and grants to help communities afford developmental projects and coordinate programs to fight homelessness. And why am I bringing this up? Let me show y'all something real quick. I got my kids playing around in the park and stuff like that right now. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning. We've been out here for about since 6 o'clock. It's 7:40 or something like that. So we playing. They got the little playground all to themselves and stuff. You know, they exploring. They're kids. Homelessness right now is at its top. You know, especially in the United States. They sitting there, you know, playing around a little recreation park or whatever, going up and down the thing, and then guess what they spot? A homeless person sleeping right there, literally. And I'm not going to even get too close because, you know, that's their privacy, that's their business. I just told the kids to move, but it's a big problem when people are really, too many people are out here sleeping outside, you know. It's crazy. I just wanted to share that with you guys real quick. You know, homelessness is real, you know, and it's serious. Family, just such a sad situation. So many companies with the workers going on strike. And if they don't get their deals, then what happens? Do some people just quit? Like, what happens next if they don't come up with a good deal that benefits, you know, the workers? It's kind of tiring seeing that, you know, workers, of course, employees, of course, they're making these companies billions of dollars while they really get the change. Well, we technically, if you've ever been an employee of a large corporation, even a small, you know, little business, you know, we the ones who put in the work. Of course, their names is there, or, you know, the company name is there, but at the end of the day, it won't run without the little people, basically, because that's what we're considered, the little people. You know, and that's who they build up off of, the little people. They pull in the billions and pulling their numbers because of the people that's actually there putting in that work, right? So hopefully they can come up with a deal, because that can lead to a lot of people walking off the job. It can also lead to, let's say they do come up with the deal, there would be some job cuts, because then if they get paid more, companies typically, they try to see, well, where can they cut costs to compensate, you know, the money that they're putting back into their employees. Of course, they raise prices, but what else can they do? They start to cut hours, and, you know, it'd be a hot mess. And then more people is on, you know, unemployment. And then guess what? That leads to homelessness, because, you know, unemployment you can't keep up with your bills on unemployment. You can hardly keep up with your bills with your job. You know, and that whole situation that, you know, I ran into in the park, it definitely is an eye-opener. You know, and a lot more people should definitely be thankful. A lot of people aren't thankful. You know, even for people who do receive, you know, help with their rent, some type of subsidy or whatever. Some people really take that for granted, and I've seen it with my own eyes. Some people really take it for granted. Though it's not nothing that should be a lifetime, we know that. But still, yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot, because out here just trying to pay, you know, regular market rent, bills and everything like what we do. You know, we have to just continue working and, you know, pulling in the rent. And we be thankful, like, oh, crap, we made it. We made it this month. These bills are high. We made it this month. You know, we don't receive the subsidy. We don't receive any of that. And I've tried before. I tried the whole Section 8 thing and everything. I tried to get on a list way back, and I gave up. And I'm not a person who like to live by housing rules, I guess, or rules in general. I like to do my own little thing. And I don't like nobody all up in my space. Put it like that. I'm that type of person. I don't like people in my space. So they got to walk in, do their little inspections and all. I know how it go. They got to do their inspections and stuff. And I like to keep certain energy out of my house. And if I don't know you personally, even if sometimes if I know people personally, I don't let people pass a certain point. Like, the porch is all you won't probably get. In reality, I believe, you know, highly in energy. and how energy transfers. I don't know. I never was big on like certain assistance where people got to be all up in my space. Okay. But people need it right now. Right now, homelessness is at its top. You know, something that I said plenty of times throughout this video. I'm sure you heard me say it. You know, people really need it. And like I said, I'm blessed and I'm thankful and I thank God that I haven't had to rely on it. But there can be a day that I might need to. You might need to. You know, you got people looking down at other people because they can't afford rent. Come on now. You got people who have full-blown careers. And then a few months from now or a few months from them into their career, guess what? They can't afford to live because things are that high. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. The next person that's asking for change on the street, you never know. That person could have been a professor at some college. Okay? That, I don't know. That's how I see it. I don't look down on nobody because guess what? It could be a snap of a finger when you're in the same boat. Especially with the way the economy is now. But we're going to leave this video right here where it's at. If you guys did enjoy today's video and you are new here, all you have to do is subscribe. And if you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. Y'all, the world is a mess. But at the end of the day, we are still thankful. Please remember, you got to be thankful too, okay? Keep your faith and stay strong. Until next time, y'all, this is Shauna, and I'm officially checking out from Moments with Us. Make sure you all stay prepped, stay blessed, stay safe, and most of all, remain beautiful queens and kings. Love you all, and God bless. Peace out.